Hi again, everyone. Scott Plyer, pop cult fan here, and today I am going to be doing a franchise discussion video for Halloween, which is a series I actually grew up watching. Cause I've done a review for the original Halloween movie already on my channel. So if you want to check that out, it's just a few videos down below the list. So go ahead and check that out if you want. And I guess I'll give brief thoughts about the movie again, because it's a classic and it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time, because it was one of the first horror films I ever saw. It was one of the first, but it's an amazing movie, like I've said before in my review. And the only flaw I really have about the movie is the acting with Laurie's friends, and how Halloween basically created this golden age of movies that just went insane. Like slasher movies came out weekly after the success of Halloween and Friday the 13th. Back in those days, it was crazy. So Halloween was the one that really jump started the genre into mainstream and popularity. And it's an amazing movie. And yeah, those are my quick brief thoughts about Halloween. And if you want to catch my full review, just like I said, just go back. So jumping into all the other movies, Halloween 2 with the direct sequel is really like a two-parter out of this one and the first one. That's really how you need to view the second movie, because when the second movie came out, they were people were like the filmmakers were expecting that you've already seen the first one. So, and that's really the way it is. It's kind of like a continuation of the events of the first film. And we have Laurie in the hospital, and it's still very true to the same tone and aesthetic as the first film, which I really like, but also ups the ante in terms of violence and the more explicit death scenes, that are much more graphic. And definitely, like Michael, he has a thing for killing people with a needle in their heads or in their eyes in this movie. Like, he has a certain fascination with needles in this movie. So yeah, I do think it's a good movie, but it does, it starts to address a certain storyline that is continued in the Jamie trilogy, Halloween 4, 5, and 6. It kind of starts to tease that just a little bit. It starts to, Halloween 2 addresses the fact that Laurie is Michael's younger sister. So there's that dynamic that has played out throughout all of the sequels until the new film that's coming out. So yeah, I do like Halloween 2 quite a bit. It's one of the better horror movie sequels that I've seen. And yeah, those are my thoughts on that movie. The acting is once again really good. And yeah, so moving on to Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It is a very different movie, has nothing to do with Michael Myers. It's basically an actual Halloween themed anthology film, kind of like the movie Trick or Treat. But there's a human villain in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. And he has like this, it's a bizarre movie. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like this cult. It's hard to explain. It's just very exotic and kind of weird, but it also has it actually has very gory deaths, like the Thing remake level kind of gory kind of scenes, and it's quite fascinating. Like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, I wouldn't say it's a great movie, but it's definitely unique. And it's very, how I say it, it's very it's just very different. It's very, what's the word? It's a season of Halloween as a movie, and it's the name of the movie actually has meaning to the plot of the movie. So that's really my thoughts. I don't know the actors in Halloween 3 Season of the Witch that very well. I do think they do a pretty good job, and I like the overall look and aesthetic of this one. It's definitely different. So those are my thoughts on Season of the Witch. Now, Halloween 4 is the return of Michael Myers. Michael Myers, he had a satisfying, death in Halloween 2, but they brought him back because, it would bring in the numbers and people want to see Michael Myers again. So they had to think of some way to resurrect him, right, for Halloween 4 and for all of the sequels that resurrected the character. And Halloween 4, I think it suffers the most with the mask. The Michael Myers mask, it looks very cheap in this one. I don't like it that well. The mask is not. Ugh. But I do think Danielle Harris does a pretty good job as the little girl, as Jamie. I think she's pretty good in her role. And yeah, so I think Halloween 4 is pretty good. Although it does, it's not as good as like Halloween 2, but I do and still enjoy it. And Halloween 5, okay, so I think I've pretty much given all my thoughts about that one. Halloween 4, good acting, not the best in the series, but it's still better than Halloween 5 and Halloween 6 in my opinion. But like moving on to Halloween 5, Daniel Harris is still good. Donald Pleasance is still good. But this is the one that really starts to falter for me. Starts the lore behind Michael with what makes him what he is starts to really bog down the movie, in my opinion, as well as Halloween 6, Curse of the Michael Myers. Like, both of these movies, Halloween 5 and Halloween 6, are the ones that really fall flat for me in terms of the story and just, ugh. So, those are really my thoughts on both films, Halloween 5 and Halloween 6. I do think, like, the acting with Daniel Harris and Donald Pleasance is still good, but at the same time, Donald Pleasance is starting to kind of, he's kind of tired and he's starting to get a little crazy himself, so it's pretty interesting. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Halloween 5. And Halloween 6, it's not good at all. I don't like that one at all. So those are my thoughts on those movies. Halloween H2O, which once again brought back Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. It's different because it doesn't take place in Haddonfield this time around. It takes place, I think, in a Californian university, and we see Jamie, Laurie Strode. She's a mom now. She's a teacher, so it's interesting, and you see what she's going through. And what I like about this movie is like the dynamic between Laurie, kind of what she experienced back in the day is still like very apparent with her mindset in this movie, and it's kind of makes her a little paranoid in a way. So it's very interesting. I like that aspect of the movie. And then also like the climax of the movie, I think, is really good. Especially I think the way they ended this movie was a proper ending to the series, but then Halloween Resurrection happened. And Halloween Resurrection tried to capitalize on the success of the Blair Witch Project, and it was because it was like a bunch of characters that you don't care about in the Michael Myers house, and they have a bunch of cameras on their heads and things like that, and it's just I don't like that one at all, that much at all. And then now, like, moving into the remakes, the Rob Zombie remake and his sequel, Halloween 2, I think those movies are very, very violent, very explicit in every way. Like, it's not subtle at all. It's very explicit. Definitely Rob Zombie's style of directing. Definitely. But I do, I do like the aspect of Michael when he's younger as a kid. I like how we kind of see his descent into madness. I like that aspect of it. I know not everyone cares about the prequel aspect of the Halloween remake, but I actually like it, because Michael Myers, even though he's sort of like a boogeyman kind of character, I do like that they kind of explore his humanity a little bit in this movie. That's something that makes him kind of sympathetic in a way. I mean, he's not sympathetic, but he's not that kind of character. But they try to give him a reason to why he's going after Laurie, and I do like that aspect of it. I do like the Halloween remake. I like it more than the Friday the 13th remake, which probably might surprise a lot of you, but I don't like the Friday the 13th remake that much, like, at all. I mean, I know Friday the 13th fans seem to like the Friday the 13th remake. I just don't like that one that much. I like the Halloween remake more than that, and that's another topic for another time. But I do like Rob Zombie's Halloween remake more than some other people, but that's just how I feel. But Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie sequel, it tries to be different, which is a little jarring for me, especially when Michael is, like, for most of the movie, not even wearing his iconic mask. He looks like the director. He looks like the director. Tyler Mane looks like the director at the end of the movie. And he speaks. What the hell? Oh my god. Yeah, Halloween 2. I'd rather just forget about that movie. But so yeah, those are all my thoughts about all of these movies. Like the Thorn storyline in during the original main series of films was really what bogged down those particular movies for me, and definitely, like, capitalized on the more teen slasher of it all, with the popularity of the teen slashers back in the day, were also what bogged down those last few movies in the main series. 4, 5, and Halloween 4, 5, and 6, and H2O. I thought was really good. Resurrection, pointless. The Rob Zombie Halloween remake, I thought was decent. But the Zombies H2, blah. So those are all my thoughts about all the movies in the series. Thank you all so much for watching, and my next video will probably be next Monday, maybe, because, like I said, I'm going on vacation this weekend, and I won't be back until, like, Sunday night. So yeah, that's really it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video when I get the chance next week, maybe Monday. So that will do it. Thank you all so much for watching. Peace.